Wow, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Clear the Ice program, a Flyers post-game show here on the Edge of Philly Sports with your boy Matty B, coming at you on this Thanksgiving Eve. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, the biggest party night of the year. And I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me talking some Flyers hockey. And tonight out there on the island, the Flyers fall to 3-2 to the New York Islanders in a game that it was kind of just epitome of the struggles that this team has, against a team with marginally better talent than they are. And it was evident in this game. By no means did the Islanders skate the Flyers off the ice. They did not. But the Flyers were always just one step behind the entire night and not able to kind of generate enough friction long enough to kind of push forward a recipe that we've seen way too many times throughout this rebuild, throughout this season, last season, and maybe a couple seasons before. The Islanders are not that good. I mean, they're a playoff team, but they're not that far above the Flyers. But tonight was one of those examples of just really kind of putting the Flyers back down on their pedestal or on their rung of the pedestal as they fell tonight 3-2 to the Islanders, thus ending their 5-game winning streak, which was really nice. Absolutely something we needed. It was great inspired hockey through those 5 games. But tonight, a little dose of reality as the little engine that could, Flyers could not muster enough strength to get up past the Islanders, falling 3-2 on the island on this Thanksgiving Eve. And as I mentioned, thank you for joining me here on the show tonight, taking time and your busiest party night of the year to spend with me. Let's go over some of the scoring. Well, let's talk about the scoring summary as a whole. Anders Lee, we get the Islanders on the board early. 149 mark of the first period. Assist from Oliver Wahlstrom, making it 1-0 Islanders. That would be your score heading into the first intermission. In the second period, the Islanders would get a little further ahead. Brock Nelson, his 9th of the year at 13-10, making it 2-0. But then about a minute 18 seconds later, here comes a minute 8 seconds later, here comes Cam York with his third on a very pretty backhand wraparound deflection type goal from Owen Tippett and Ryan Poehling, making it 2-1 Islanders. That would be your score heading into the third period. Brock Nelson would put the Islanders pretty much give the death blow at the 2:33 mark, his 10th of the year, 3-1. And then Joel Farabee, who continues to, kind of rebound from a not too good of a season last year, his 8th of the year, unassisted at 15:56 to make it 3-2. And that's your final tonight. Flyers fall 3-2. Some team stats on the evening. The Flyers, once again, as they've done pretty much this entire season, have outshot their opponent, and they outshot the Islanders tonight 36-25. They were 0 for 1. What a shock on the power play. The Islanders were 0 for 2 on their power play, so the Flyers killed off all their shorthanded opportunities. Thus continuously to impress me on the shorthand. The Flyers gave the puck away once, and they took it away 14 times. There you have 3-2 individually for this team. Let's turn our attentions now to our goaltender, Carter Hart. You faced 28 shots, gave up three goals, saved 22, total save percentage of 8.80. A very middle of the road game for Carter. Again, when you only face 28 shots, 3 goals, to me is a little much. But as I mentioned, there were some breakdowns in this game. The defensive combination of Igor Zamula and Mark Stahl, I'm just not really feeling that. I don't understand who thinks that's a good idea. Just really not a good combination. It seemed like every time they were on the ice, something bad happened. And it just kind of seemed like that way to me. But for the Flyers forward-wise, again, Cam Atkinson would lead the way with 4 shots. Or I'm sorry, my bad. Sean Couturier would lead the way with 8 shots on the night. The Flyers generated offense. They generated 36 shots. They generated scoring opportunities, but they once again could not find the back of the net. A couple posts were wrong. Sean Walker hit the post in the second period. They're just a half inch off, and that's what happens with these young teams. They're just a half inch away. But 3-2 is your final score out in Long Island. The Flyers fall today, thus ending their 5-game winning streak. And Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights, checks in. Hey, what's going on, Dan? How you doing? Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. And tough night in Philly sports. Sixers and Flyers both come up small. Yeah, it was. Sixers playing that in-season thing. I don't even know what that is. I know they have really loud floors for that. So not really paying much attention to that, Pat. But you're right. The Sixers did come up small, and so did the Flyers. The Flyers now will head home, and they will partake in their Thanksgiving holiday just like everybody else before their next game on Friday afternoon at the Center against the Rangers at 1 p.m. or maybe even earlier. I got to look. It's the matinee game. Pat Bernard, actually, coincidentally enough, we'll have the call for that on the Fights final on the Clear the Ice show tomorrow or Thursday or Friday. God, it's been a long day. He'll have the we'll have the call for you on Friday after the Flyers play the Rangers coming off Thanksgiving. Let's take a look around at the National Hockey League, shall we, on this night before Thanksgiving. Games that are currently in progress. I'm actually watching it right now. Predators are up 2-1 over the Flames with about 16 minutes to go in a second. With about 5 minutes to go in the second, it is 2-2. Blues and Coyotes all knotted up at the end of the first. Out in Dallas, it's 1-0 Vegas. About 3 minutes to go in the first, it's 0-0 Canucks and Avalanche in Colorado. 6:44 to go in the first, 2-0 Canadiens over the Ducks. Sharks are down 2-0 to the Kraken in the first. Games that have gone final: the Red Wings over the Devils 3-0. The Jets over the Lightning 2-1. Bruins beat the Panthers 1-0. Rangers over the Penguins 1-0. Final in overtime, the Sabres beat the Capitals 2-1. Hurricanes beat the Oilers 4-1, and the Blue Jackets over the Blackhawks. A pretty busy night in the National Hockey League night before Thanksgiving, because there will be, of course, no more games. No games tomorrow for the holiday. So yeah, pretty busy night in the NHL. Pat says he loves the Flyers entering shots on net, no more dump and chase. Pat, I like that too. The Flyers have consistently done that all season. I believe there's maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 times that they have not outshot their opponents, but sometimes you also got to look at the quality of shot. Firing it from the blue line is not really generating much of a scoring opportunity. I think maybe it's a step-by-step process here. Maybe they're teaching them to shoot the puck, and now it's on to potentially teaching them where to shoot the puck. Right now, as I mentioned, the Flyers did generate pretty good scoring opportunities, not as many as I would like. They rung a few crossbars as well, but it's always a good sign when you outshoot your opponent. It's always a good sign when you're getting over 30 shots a game. But I would like to see a little bit more high volume or high quality scoring opportunities to go along with those high shot numbers. Again, 36 on the night. And by the way, perfect segue to this. Just checking out some season stats for the Flyers. Flyers are now 10-8-1, 21 points through 19 games. They are 7 for 62 on the power play, 0 for 1 tonight. Their percentage now is up to 11.3. That's right, I say up to. I know it actually fell by a 0.2 tonight, but when it was sitting at 7 just a few nights ago, I'll take it where I can get it, folks. We went from 7 to 11 over the course of 2 games. And you know what? I'm going to be proud about saying 11%. I really am, until they show me otherwise. The Flyers have been shorthanded 62 times this season. They've killed 51 of them for an 82.3% effective rate. Shorthanded. The PK is definitely alive and well and definitely looking good. Again, I don't want to see Marcel and Ehlers and Muller paired up ever again together. But other than that, the PK looked pretty good on the defensive side. Flyers have scored 62 goals this season. It's a little over 3 a game. They've allowed 55, which is less than 3 a game. They've now registered 600 shots through 19 games. As I mentioned, that is a positive number. That wasn't always the way it was for the Flyers just a couple of seasons ago. They didn't generate shots. Over 31 a game. They've given up 525 shots, about 27 a game. Their overtime record is 1-1. They have 5 shorthanded goals. They've taken the puck away 125 times. They've given it away 114 times. And since the 2021-22 season, the Flyers have gone 70 and 515 on the power play, which is good for 13.6%. And they look around the farm. Last night in Lehigh Valley, the Phantoms defeated the Marlies, improving their record to 8-6-2 for 18 points. They moved into 5th place in the Atlantic Division of the Eastern Conference of the American Hockey League. And tonight down there in Reading, the Royals fell 3-1 to the Adirondack Thunder, now dropping their record to 3-8, 1-1 for 8 points and 7th place in the North Division of the Eastern Conference of the ECHL. That's your look around the Flyer farm. So busy night here for Flyers hockey. Pat says, Matt, the biggest difference to you from a good AV team to this Tortorella team? I don't know. Was there such a thing as a good AV team? I don't think I like what you're going to hear. I mean, obviously there's less talent on this team than AV had to deal with. I mean, I can give you the obligatory, they're a team now. Doesn't seem to be many egos on this team. It's a tough question for me to answer because they're like night and day. Two different situations, two different types of players. I don't know if Tortorella would have been able to produce with the AV teams because of the egos on those teams, whereas, this is the perfect position for John Tortorella to be in with this type of team. Power play was pretty much dreadful with AV as it is with Tortorella. I mean, I don't know, Pat, honestly. The biggest difference for me, I guess, would be the attitude of the team. But that might mean more because they got rid of those players, so they give Tortorella the right players in order to pursue a rebuild. So that's a very interesting question. I'm sure if I sat down and did the math, I could come up with something. But right now on the surface, to me, it's really just the egos of the players that might have been on the teams, and obviously the ego of the coach. AV had a pretty big ego. AV wanted to be in charge, his way or the highway. Really didn't like certain players. That might have caused some dissension in that clubhouse, and that clubhouse was being divided last year too under John Tortorella with Kevin Hayes and Ivan Provorov not coming along for the ride, but Flyers got rid of them guys. And, I don't know. That's a good question. That's a really good question, Pat. And I'm sorry I can't give you a better definitive answer, man. I really, really wish I could, but I don't have one for you, Pat. Pat throws a curveball at me on Thanksgiving Eve night. But 3-2 is your final score in New York, or on Long Island, as the Flyers fall. In a game, as I said, it's characterized by the message of the day. This is what the Flyers are. They are a scrappy, young team, competitive team that's going to skate with you, that's not going to be as talented as you are, but is going to give you fits. But it's becoming, and I've asked this question before, I'll ask it again, and it's probably going to rear its ugly head deeper or more in detail as we go through the season. Have we reached a point now in the rebuild where the Flyers begin to add pieces? I don't know the answer to that, obviously. I think the Flyers are still somewhat trying to find themselves, but watching a game like this tonight, if they just had one more scorer, they just had a legitimate scorer, who knows how this game works itself out. If they had maybe a little bit more stability on the blue line, as I mentioned, have I mentioned this? Mark Stahl and Igor Zamula don't need to be paired up ever again. These are the types of games where that one player, that one high-end talented player could have made a lot of difference in the outcome of this game. So these games are part of the process and part of the rebuild. But at what point do we say, okay, we know what we have, and let's start adding to? I don't know the answer to that, and I don't know if that answer exists in November more than it will exist in February. But we'll have to wait and see. But it was one of those frustrating games where you knew the Flyers were battling, giving everything they had, trying, scraping, scrapping, clawing, but at the end of the day, they just didn't have enough talent to get that equalizer, and they fall tonight 3-2 to the New York Islanders, now falling to 10-8-1 on the season, ending their 5-game winning streak, and then we'll face the New York Rangers back home on Friday, day after Thanksgiving, against the surprising red-hot New York Rangers. But you know who else is red-hot? And that would be the Edge of Philly Sports. This is our lineup here on the EOP. Tonight, you're with me doing some Clear the Ice. Don't forget, get processed. The Sixers post-game is going on as well. I believe at the same time as this one is. Tomorrow, hey, we got you covered on your Thanksgiving. If you're, if you do some filler as you're cooking your turkey or getting ready for some football, the Fightins Final is going to come at you at 10:45 tomorrow morning. As the time changes, 9:11, it's 10:45. The Fightins Final will be coming at you with their end of season or 2023 season review / hot stove special. getting you caught up with the if you need to be caught up with the Philly season, we're going to catch you up. And then Flag the Eagle podcast at 12:30. And then Friday, we're back at this live. I mentioned Clear the Ice and Steel Steps. And then everything taking you through the weekend up to Eagles Bills on Sunday. And then beyond that to the lacrosse guys on Sunday night. And if you're looking to make some plans, if you're looking for Christmas presents, because guess what? With Thanksgiving tomorrow, about 24 hours later comes Christmas time. And if you're looking for a perfect Christmas/stocking stuffer, look no further than Philly Sports Trips. They got you covered for your Philly sports fan in your life. They got you covered for the 2024 Philly Spring Training, multiple trips heading down to Clearwater, March 13th, March 18th, March 15th, March 20th through March 20th, and then March 1st to March 4th. So 3 separate spring trips heading down to Clearwater to watch some Philly spring training baseball. And then make sure you contact them. And this is, of course, the granddaddy. This is the Phillies UK trip when the Phillies play the Mets next summer in London. It is sold out, but there's more like this on their website. So you need to go and check it out on EOP or on phillysportstrips.com. So give them a look-see. And tomorrow or tonight or any night you feel like you need to go, and as I mentioned, it's the biggest party night of the year. So after you're done listening to me, either walk or Uber. Don't drive. I don't want you drinking and driving. So don't drive. But find your way down to Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Ave, Ridley Park. Quizzo music, great times, memorabilia giveaway. You never know who might walk through the front door at Dolan's. And tonight, that could be you walking through the front door at Dolan's on the biggest party night of the year. So go ahead down there and tell PJ and the group that we said hi here. Looking for some workman's compensation, motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or criminal law help? Then Dave Cherry is the man you need to call, 610-565-0300 at thecherryinjurylaw.com. He will take great care of you. And then if you're, again, looking for those perfect Christmas presents, look no further than Sherry's Ticket Town. Great prices, no hidden fees on sports, concerts, and theater tickets. www.sherrystickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Save an additional 10% when you enter the promo code EOP10. And they will do what they can for you as well. And that is going to wrap me up, folks. 3-2 Flyers fall tonight to the New York Islanders, ending the 5-game winning streak. Now on the season, 8-7 or 8. Let me get up here. Now on the season, they are 10-8-1. Sorry about that. 10-8-1. 21 points. I'll take it. I will take it. Heading into Thanksgiving, 10-8-1. Thanksgiving is one of those checkpoint times in the hockey season. 10-8-1. It could be a lot worse. Yeah. So I'll take it. Coming off that 5-game winning streak, should have been 6, right? If we had the talent. But one of those usual games tonight for the Flyers, they fall to a more talented, not greatly more talented, but just a more talented team right now than the Flyers. And it starts making you wonder, when it will be our time to add some talent and maybe win some of these games that we just don't have the horses in the stable to win. But we'll continue to move down that road. And that's going to wrap me up tonight. So I'm going to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. Go Flyers. And in the immortal words of Mr. Gene Hart, good night and good hockey.